Well, welcome to Visual Imaging Solutions. Today, we're going to take a trip back in time. And just like that, it's 1999 all over again, complete with Power Mac G3 and cathode ray tube monitor. But we don't want to go back quite that far. Let's go to 2007. Well, and just like that, it's 2007. And here's Steve Jobs.
That changes everything. And Apple has been, well, first of all, one's very fortunate if you get to work on just one of these in your career. Apple's been very fortunate. It's been able to introduce a few of these into the world. In 1984, we introduced the Macintosh. It didn't just change Apple, it changed the whole computer industry.
So we're here today to talk about the Macintosh. There you go. The world's most portable computer. Oh wait, that's not from 2007 either. That's from 1984. Now Steve has something else up his sleeve.
Today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products. The first one is a widescreen iPod with touch controls. The second is a revolutionary mobile phone. And the third is a breakthrough internet communications device. So, 3 things: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone.
Well, since 2007, the iPhone has come to dominate smartphones, but not just smartphones in general, but cellular photography, so cell phone photos. And going all the way back to when the first iPhone with a camera, which was not the original, but the next iteration, which came out the next year, I believe, this camera really set the standard for what mobile photography would become, and largely drove compact cameras really right out of the market almost until a resurgence just this year. Now, back in 2007, just how good was a mobile phone camera? Well, I think we can all remember they were not so great. But this is the latest iPhone, the iPhone 16 Pro Max, with the best possible iPhone camera. It may or may not be the best mobile phone camera available today, but it's certainly one of the best mobile phone cameras available today. Now, the iPhone 16 Pro Max features a 48 megapixel main camera, and it's 24 millimeters in full frame equivalent. There's also 2 other lenses, an extra wide angle and a zoom, but we're really concerned with the main camera. And what I wanted to do is take a look at just how good has this kind of camera gotten compared to what was in 2007 the best or nearly the best full frame professional camera that was available in the market. That full frame camera that was available in the market in 2007 when Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone, this came just a few months later, it was the Canon EOS 1DS Mark III. And it's difficult to appreciate how revolutionary this camera was from the vantage point of 2025. When it came out in 2007, it featured 21 megapixels, which was an astonishing resolution that wasn't really matched by any other full-frame camera at the time. And this was marketed as, in fact, a replacement for what at the time were $30 and $40 and even $50,000 medium format cameras that had 30 or 40 or 50 megapixels. This was considered a professional's choice that in the full-frame market could compete with those. And certainly for mobile photography, whether it was on the original series of iPhones and the iPhone 3GS and later, or in other mobile phone capable cameras, this was orders of magnitude superior. But how does the iPhone 16, the latest and greatest from Apple today, compare with the 1DS Mark III from 2007? Let's take a look. Well, you look very pretty today out here in the woods. Where have we come today, dear?
To Smith Rapids.
Smith Rapids is one of our favorite places to do some photography, and the reason we came today is because we're going to do our test comparing the iPhone 16 Pro Max camera with the best professional DSLR that was available in the market in 2007 when the iPhone first was introduced by Steve Jobs. And I suppose some people who had Nikon would say theirs was the best professional camera in 2007, but when this came out, it was the highest resolution DSLR in the market at 21 megapixels, which seems like not that high today, but was, considered quite an achievement in 2007. And of course, the iPhone now is 48 megapixels. The iPhone main camera is 24 millimeters, right? Full frame equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
And so to compare, we're going to use the 1DS Mark III with the Canon 16 to 35, and I'm going to set that to 24 millimeters. And to make the comparison a little more accurate too, one thing with the iPhone is the chip's imaging sensors are really small, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're tiny, and so depth of field is really extreme on this camera. In other words, it's the opposite of what you get with a big full-frame sensor where you have very shallow depth of field if you want it. This gets everything in focus unless computationally it adjusts it. So in order to sort of make it a little more comparable, on the 1DS Mark III, I'm going to shoot this at f5.6 probably. I think that should give us a reasonable depth of field with this lens, and that should be more or less comparable. So we're going to do a couple shots, and
Two or three.
Why do we like this spot?
So pretty.
Yeah, what makes it so pretty?
The water is so beautiful.
Yeah, so we got the river behind us with the rapids, right?
Yeah.
Kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
And Denise always likes it when I wear my hat.
It's such an ugly hat. It looks like somebody stomped on it.
And what's it say?
It says, "We can't hide our world record alkaline startup."
Alkaline. Alkaline? is the
alkaline? What did I say?
alkaline?
Alkaline? And that's what it's supposed to be?
No, it's alkaline.
Alkaline.
I don't know if the L is wore off or something.
It's just the way I talk.
Oh, is that just the way you talk? All right, well, let's go take some pictures.
Yes, because we got to do this quick.
We got to do this quick?
It's cold out here.
It's 40 degrees. It's not that bad.
Okay.
Well, let me go ahead and set up the 1DS Mark III, and then we can go take a shot. So in order to take a photo, this is your shutter release right here.
Okay.
So I've got the camera in I've got the iPhone with its camera in the small rig, Brandon Lee times small rig iPhone frame and case. And that allows you to have these handles for holding it, which really is for filmmaking, but kind of works for photography too. And then it integrates a Bluetooth shutter release right here, so you can just go ahead and take a snapshot.
So it's kind of cool.
There you go. So Denise is going to be running that.
Okay.
And I'll let her pick the first shot. So let's walk over maybe by the rapids.
Okay. I may have to put my hood up.
Kind of chilly?
Yeah, it's a little chilly. Ooh, look how pretty though, huh?
Yep, very nice.
Now don't trip like I would.
Oh. Well, you're dancing down the stairs. Don't trip. So I have to watch where Denise is standing and how she's taking the shot so I can get kind of the same shot with the one with the Canon.
Okay.
So here we are.
Here. Wasn't there like a trail down one of these sides at one point? Am I thinking of the wrong place?
Well, there was a trail here, but that depends on whether or not the river's high.
Oh.
If you come here late in the fall when the water's low, right before it freezes up, you can walk right along the shore. But nope, there's too much water today.
So I think I want to take some pictures of those cool little grasses over there.
Well, that's boring. You're gonna walk in the wood tick infested grass?
No. Let's see here. Let's see here. So, I say, let's just take a picture of this right scene right here first.
Okay.
Okay. I'll take another one.
All right, so I gotta try to duplicate that now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna take a look at the back of my camera and see what that looks like. That doesn't look too bad, I don't think. I'm gonna take one more. Well, one of the things you notice right away, I think, compared to the iPhone, is that the 1DS Mark III was probably considered reasonably responsive in 2007. It wasn't a fast camera in 2007, but by 2025 standards, this is a very slow and precise camera. You're not going to be using this, I don't think, and expecting really high burst rates, or even for it to write to the card very quickly. It doesn't write to the card very quickly at all. When I wanted to take a look at that picture, I bet I had to wait 30 seconds for it to stop saying busy on the back of the camera. Maybe not 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Whereas with the iPhone, it's just, there it is, instant. So where's the next?
Well, now it's your turn.
Now it's my turn. Well, I kind of want to see how this gets a little more detail.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a shot of this little tree.
Okay.
I'm going to get a little closer to it and try to get a shot of that tree. So. Alright, so I took those shots, and I guess we'll let Denise take a couple of those.
So did you get real close up so I know what the...
Oh, I should show Denise so she can try to duplicate that shot. So.
Oh, okay. That looks cool.
So anyway, it's just kind of like.
Okay.
Can I remember that?
Yep.
Okay.
Kitty here. Oh. Alright. Alright, let's not fall. Let's not fall. Okay. Do that.
Why are you shivering?
Oh. Cold. It's cold out here.
All right, dear. So what are your impressions of using the iPhone?
I love it. It's fun.
The iPhone is fun?
It is. It's fun.
What makes it so fun?
I don't know. It's like I like this rig. This is really cool rig.
Yeah, that makes it easier?
Yeah.
So would you rather use that or the 5D Mark IV or one of the 1D cameras?
Oh, I like my 1DC.
You do?
Yeah.
Even better than the iPhone?
I have a feeling like the images are much better than the iPhone.
You think so, huh? Well, that's partly what we're going to find out. The 1DC is a newer version of the 1D series than that one.
Okay.
So now you get to pick the next shot.
Oh, I was going to have you choose the next shot.
I just chose this shot.
How about if we choose one together?
All right. Okay. So what do you want to shoot now?
Well, let's see. We took a picture that was further away, and we took a close-up, right?
Yep.
So now we kind of need a mid-range shot, don't you think?
Sure. Now, both of these shots were of nature subjects. Is there kind of a structure here nearby that we might want to take a shot of?
There's a water pump up there.
Maybe there's a bigger structure right nearby.
A bigger structure. Ooh, the bridge.
That's the covered bridge?
The covered bridge.
All right, well, lead the way to the covered bridge.
Okay. Oh, I'm getting hyperthermia here.
Hyperthermia?
See, I did it again.
So you're getting kind of overheated, are you?
Whatever. I give up. Sometimes I just say weird things. I can't help it.
Well, I don't want you to spontaneously combust. So, how are you going to take this shot?
Remember that really cool shot you took of this in the winter?
When it had snowed about a foot and a
It's
half?
a beautiful picture. We'll have to find it and put it online.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I'm kind of thinking like a bit off to the side by this balsam tree. Like over here.
I think we have to come this way though. Oh no, both sides you're gonna see signs.
Yeah. Pretty hard to avoid all the signs right here. But I was kind of like thinking like maybe from this angle.
Okay.
You can still see that 45-mile-an-hour sign, but
Well, like
there you
that.
go. Yep, that's what I would do.
Ready?
Yep. What do you think?
Yeah, that's cool.
Now you want me to do that?
Now it's your turn.
All right. Okay. Well, I think we got some shots. Let's do one more. Let's go take a picture of the sign.
Okay.
Now we're actually going to get a picture of the sign on purpose. You want me to go first on this one?
Sure.
Okay. And now it's your turn.
All right. That just seems so easy with this.
So you're probably just gonna just throw away your other cameras now, huh?
No.
Well, there we are. It's springtime, summer in Wisconsin, and it's just about 5
so
degrees.
Warm.
5 degrees above freezing. Maybe if we're lucky, it'll snow tonight.
I got the chills.
It can't snow tonight. I put the snowblower away.
My teeth are starting to chatter.
Well, I was gonna barbecue out for supper, but I'm thinking maybe not anymore. It's kind of cold out here, so let's go build a fire in the wood stove
And figure out what to eat.
and figure out supper from there. So what did you think, honey, of the images that we came back with from our iPhone experiment?
Well, I thought they both looked good, but I have to say that I like the images a little bit better from the 1DS Mark III.
Well, that's kind of a surprise because you really seem to like using the iPhone when you were out there.
I really did. I thought, though, that after editing them, I thought that the background just seemed a little too sharp for me.
A little too sharp?
Yeah, I liked how the brightness of the photos looked. I thought they looked beautiful, but you know, you can always add in when you edit them, you could, you know, fix the brightness on the 1DS. But the iPhone, they were just a little too sharp.
Okay, well, I can see why you would think that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I thought that the iPhone colors were just a little bit too exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they, you know, I think maybe that Apple has figured out that the average person really likes colors to be oversaturated, maybe.
A little too punchy.
And that really was happening with the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, you know, if you set the iPhone up so you use it to shoot RAW and you use an external app, a third-party app, you can probably control that a lot better. But I wanted to test it with it used exactly like the average person might. And I think that it just produces too much saturation when it processes those images in camera. And I thought the 1DS Mark III just had a really natural look to it. I mean,
Yes.
what you saw on the camera from the 1DS Mark III is really pretty accurate what was really out there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
thought,
agree.
I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the depth of field control that you have with the DSLR.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to have depth of field, you can get it. If you want it with the iPhone, that's a little harder to achieve and it might not look quite right.
Right.
So I think the 1DS Mark III still has a pretty good advantage that way.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, so
Let us know what you think.
yeah, I mean, the one last thing I guess I'd say is, you know, iPhones really have come a long way.
You know, it's great to have an iPhone like that. It really does produce beautiful images. It's just when you compare it to the 1DS, it's just
Yeah, so I guess if you're out and all you have is your iPhone,
yeah.
it's probably not a bad thing to have if something happens you need to take a photo. But if you are a professional and you're an advanced amateur or you're a hobbyist and there's a certain look you want to get, or if you're shooting certain nature shots, wildlife shots, and you want some options with how you attach a lens or what lens you're using, you certainly have a lot more capability, like an infinite amount of extra capability with the DSLR, or if you're going with one of the more modern mirrorless cameras.
Right.
But I think the 1DS Mark III, all these years after Steve Jobs, is still the superior tool for photography.
So do you think this was an appropriate comparison of the two?
I would say it's kind of ridiculous. There's such radically different technologies, but with the iPhone being everywhere and being the dominant camera on the planet,
Yeah.
you know, most people have one. If they don't have an iPhone, they've got some other kind of smartphone. There's some really good Android smartphones with good cameras. So, you know, I think for the average person who might be thinking, well, boy, I really like doing some photography, but should I get something beyond this iPhone or my Android? Is it worth it for me? It may or may not be. I mean, if you're doing street photography, maybe it wouldn't be. If you're just going to be taking family snaps, maybe it wouldn't be worth investing in a DSLR. Because the iPhone does a great job at those things, really great job. But it doesn't hurt to see the comparison either, because now you can kind of get an idea, you know, what else can you do with the DSLR. And I think we didn't really show it because we showed a comparison at 24 millimeters, which is the native, you know, main camera focal length on the iPhone. But one thing we didn't capture is the fact that if you really wanted to, shoot some small bird photography, if you have access to a 600mm lens, or you rent a 600mm lens, you can pop that on your DSLR and do some wildlife photography with small birds or other mammals and things of that sort. And that's hard to do on an iPhone. So, with the DSLR, the 1DS Mark III, and others like it, you just get a lot more expanded possibilities. So let us know what you think. Would you use a 1DS Mark III, or would you stick with the iPhone?
Yep. Please subscribe.
Let us know below. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.